morally, they know something will happen today or tomorrow. So the police or RAB or the military, they know we are doing misdeeds. We are using in a wrong way. We should not do this. We should not fire the people. From inner side, they already feel the vulnerability that we are not strong, and that was reflected by many of their speeches.
Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, welcome from a very beautiful area of Swansea. The name of this area is Mamble. This is one of the most attractive sites of the United Kingdom. I have today a guest who is very popular for some of his activities through the online platforms. Though he is settled here, Mokarram Hossain, he is very popular in Bangladesh for his activities and creating mass awareness through different digital platforms, and he is also a media man before us. So thank you very much for joining with me. You know that in July, August, there was a very historic event in Bangladesh, and even it was out of the imagination of the mass people that Sheikh Hasina, who was considered to be the Iron Lady of Bangladesh, and even journalists very often predicted, and mass people's perception was also that it was not possible to topple Sheikh Hasina, and until her death, she will continue her regime. But there was a student movement that eventually turned into mass uprising, and finally, on August 5, Sheikh Hasina administration was fallen, and Sheikh Hasina fled to India. What's your evaluation from out of the country?
Thank you very much for your questions, and thank you very much for having me with you. Actually, at the beginning of July, we are getting some informations that maybe this is the last moment of Sheikh Hasina regime, and we are getting some informations that people are really confident in this time. It's not for political parties engagement, but for the engagement from the mass people, and they're very much confident. Okay, this time we can overthrow this regime. This is one aspect. The confidence, the level of confidence was very, very high. And second point is it was not initiated by any political parties who don't have much more confidence from the mass people because many reasons, because of the previous regimes and so on. But since it was initiated by more or less the youths, particularly the students, and they have a long history of successful uprising or revolution, whatever you can say, but not maybe not this scale, but they have the successful track record. Okay, 69, before the liberation movement, during the liberation movement, and during the 90s of the Diden Ershad regime and so on.
Into autocratic movement.
Exactly. So the people who initiated, the students who initiated this movement, they are their predecessor have a track record, strong track record. They can do that. So when they initiated this type of movement, it immediately attract the attention from the mass people. So mass people already have the feeling, negative feeling, or they want to overthrow this regime.
During the regime of Sheikh Hasina, actually every important institution of the country was politicized, from judiciary to civil administration and every sector. There were recruitment of the people with the strong background of Awami League politics. So every institution was politicized, and the confidence level of Sheikh Hasina administration was so high, and the perception was also that she is so strong that it will not be possible to topple her. So why people dare to participate in the movement? Because you know that there is a reign of terror due to extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances, torturing on police custody. So in that situation, how people dare to participate with the student?
Yes, the reason is, I mean, even the corrupt peoples know that they are corrupted. You know, even the people within the regime, they know that we are weak. In the sense, they know that we don't have the support from the mass people. Yeah? We are imposing some restrictions. We are disappearing the political opponents, and so on. So they know their crimes. So though you are saying from outset that they are very powerful or they're very strong, but they know themselves that they're not powerful. So this is, I mean, morality from a moral point of view. We have in contact with our friends from Satro League or Awami League, and they know we are in very vulnerable situations. And as you know from the then secretary of Awami League, he said, well, when this government will be overthrown, we have to flee to another countries and we have to be ready. And there will be mass killing of 100,000 of his workers, right? So that means morally, they know something will happen today or tomorrow. So they're not from outset. They are very strong because of the government instrumentations, the armed forces, the police forces, and all the mechanism. But from inside, from inner side, they already feel the vulnerability that we are not strong, and that was reflected by many of their species. So this is one of them. So they are corrupted and they are very weak. They know from them. So whenever the wind come, when this mass upstarts come, the mass movement come, it's just disappear like sand. So they don't have the morality. How they will protect?
So we can say that whatever powerful it seems from outside, every autocratic ruler or a strong man
Same mechanism.
has a weakness inside, and that's why to
Exactly.
cover the weakness, sometimes they're so rude to the
Exactly,
people.
exactly. So now the thing about, so they were ruthless and they use their state apparatus, but these people already know that we are doing some misdeeds, right? So the police or RAB or the military, they know we are doing misdeeds. We are using in a wrong way. We should not do this. We should not fire the people. So they don't have any moral ground. So on the one side, they don't have support from the mass people, even not from the political opponents, even from within their bloc, within their political supporters, within their own supporters. They don't have any support because they're facing the economic fall down. They're facing the skyrocketing prices of
Daily
the
commodities.
daily commodities and so on. So I should say they alienated everybody from outside, from inside, and from moral side. So they don't have anything to stand alone. They don't have anything.
You are an academician here and you are involved in the profession of education. And at that time, when there was student movement in Bangladesh and there was huge uprising, and also there was action from the government side, there was mass killing and other human rights violation at that time. What was your feeling at that time, and what you did during
Yeah.
that
So
uprising?
I can tell you, on 18th or 19th of July, I was invited by some local Bangladeshis here, Bangladeshi expatriate, and they asked me to say something. And interestingly, one of the organizers are from. So morally, he's feeling, oh, this is the time I should protest. So the one of the organizers are local Awami League leaders here. So that clicked on my mind. So this is the last moment of Awami League because their people are not convinced they should fire the students, right? So that was my feeling at the time. And yes, though they were Awami League, they invited me, so I joined the protest and I talked to the people, and they said, okay, they should not fire the students, they should not kill the students.
Actually, during the nearly 16-year-long tenure of Sheikh Hasina, the main opposition political party, Bangladesh Nationalist Party (BNP), and the leading Islamic political party, Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami, and other political parties, they tried many times to hold demonstrations or to stage mass protests against the Sheikh Hasina administration, but unfortunately they failed. But later we saw that when the students called on demonstration against Sheikh Hasina, people responded very spontaneously. So there is an assessment now at this point that the political movement or political efforts can be sized by the government, but when mass people uprise, that is so difficult. And in that case of Sheikh Hasina, it was happened. What's your analysis?
Okay, so what was the last trump card of the regime. That is the military. So they want the military to crack down on the civilians, right? So think about the track record of military. I mean, there is no track record of our military that they fire on the on public, right? So it will fail today or tomorrow, right? Because the previous regime, like the Ershad regime, could not do it. The army refused to fire the public. So that means the last resort, but that did not have any track record as well. And the other things though, that you mentioned, the different political parties, why they fail and so on. Well, they did not, in that sense, the amount of crackdown, the magnitude of crackdown was so powerful because not only for army, but also the local, the regional power. I mean, think about that they abducted the people and then they sent it to India. So that means it was not only the BD or Bangladesh state mechanism. It was somehow
Fully against
reinforced,
the
exactly, reinforced by a big neighboring power, and that big neighboring power was also supported by the regional other actors as well. So you should not think about it was the power of the then government or Awami League itself. It was amplified by many dimensions, and these political parties, whether BMP or Jamaat-e-Islami, did not have any experience of taking pressure or atrocities from this huge dimension. So ultimately, they will fail. There is no way. There is no precedence that this type of crackdown would happen in previous political parties. So you can say they fail, but I should not say they fail because the amount of pressure, amount of oppression, it was unprecedented. So it will fail today or tomorrow. There is no way. The question is why it was successful at the last moment, because there is no venue, there is no group that could support the cause of the last regime. There is no room from his own political party, from military corner, from civil society, from media. So basically, the regime was hostile to everyone, right? So there is no way they will survive. They will collapse today or tomorrow.
this revolution, there is some regional impacts, long-term impacts. For example, before this revolution, we didn't see such a revolutionary role of youth in such a scale, and even students. So, do you think that from now on, in the future politics of Bangladesh, the role of the youth of this country will be more powerful?
Two things might happen. One thing, these youths could be frustrated because they have great expectations to build up the nation, so to see that okay, the nation building is happening. So that might turn into their frustration. This is one side. Another side, if our political parties or the civil societies or the media and etc. Can turn this momentum into some sort of national building and some sort of forward-looking agenda, then it could be positive movement as well, positive momentum as well, because these peoples who participated in the movement, they are at the age of 15 to 30, right? So they have energy to contribute to national building in next 20, 30 years. So next 20, 30 years is enough to emancipate a nation from one level to another level. And they have the memory that, oh, we participated in a great revolution. So I should say, yes, both ways might happen. One way is it could turn into
So can you
frustration.
say that your one of your suggestions is that students that's they are so young, so energetic, so they may try to do something hurriedly. So they should have the passions because it takes time to change for a development of a country. Sudden.
It will take time.
It
It
will
will
take
take
time.
time.
So students and youth must have that type of passions
But
in
not only
them,
they don't
and
have.
and in that case the old generations or senior citizens, they should have a very important role in this case.
True, true. As I said, I mean, these people's these students are, as I said, the age of 15 to 30, and by nature they have less passion, they are tempered, and so on. So, of course, our media and the senior citizens have the role to play to tell them, hey, it's not a matter of years. It could take decades to build up the nation. So, yes, we did kick out the dictatorship, the fascist regime, but still we need time to build up the institutions which are destroyed entirely by the previous regime.
There is a debate rising rapidly in the country that there needs some reforms. As you already mentioned, that during the nearly 16-year-long regime, every institution, important sector of the government was politicized hugely. So there needs some reforms. So, but the political parties, some political parties, they also are demanding for election as soon as possible. So how there can be a balance between these reforms and election?
First of all, we need reforms. Nobody disagree with that. Second thing, we need to go to the election process, the democratic process. Nobody deny it. The question is when, in 1 year or 6 months, and so on. So the reconciliation would be that, well, political parties should say yes. The reform process is an ongoing process, okay, and then we'll continue it. Whether we are in opposition or we are in power, we'll continue it, and it's a continuous process. It's not a one-time process. It's a continuation, and we'll do that. At the same time, the people who are only looking for reforms and reforms, and we're talking about reforms and reforms, they should realize that we need a democratic transition as well. We need a democratic government who will have the legitimacy to run the institutions. So the reconciliation will be to compromise from both sides. The political parties should say, okay, we'll continue, we'll not discontinue the reforms just after the 6 months or 1 year. And the current interim government should say, okay, fine, I'm going to the election process, keeping the pact, you'll continue, and we are managing this as soon as possible. Because the country like Bangladesh, we have the bad experience from previous regime as well, that unelected government can do some wrongdoings for the country as well. The regional actors and international actors can take this opportunity, and then the local actors can destabilize the country as well. So we should go to a democratic process, mentioning that we are committed to the reform process and then we continue this process.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for it.
Dear viewers, thank you very much for staying with us. Actually, today, this is a very fantastic environment, and weather is also sunny. And sun in the UK is very important for the people, and they consider it as a blessing for them. And now we are sitting before the sea and in a very fantastic environment. So our expectation from this long way from the country, that our country, Bangladesh, will run in a very good way, and the progress will be seen by the people, and the country will reach to the level that the people now expect from the interim government as well as from the upcoming government. And never ever this country will experience the existence of any fascism here. So we are also expecting this, and hope you also expect the same. So no more today. Thank you very much, and hope we meet again on any other important topic. Until then, bye for now. Allah Hafiz.